Aloha and welcome to It's All About the Keiki. This is our first episode for our new season and I am super excited to have my really special guest today, Keoni Subiono from East Oahu Crossfit. That's actually known as CrossFit East Oahu, CFEO, here with me today to talk about parenting, business owning, community building, and taking good care of yourself inside and out. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. So when I asked you to be on the show, it was with the idea that you, in my mind, lead sort of the most successful integrated lifestyle because you have a great marriage, you have 5 amazing kids, you're with them all the time,
Yes.
You're running a business, you're homeschooling, and you're inspiring so many people in the community to be their best selves. So I figured,
Absolutely.
what
It's
a better,
crazy.
it is kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
but good crazy.
It's a good crazy, and I love it. I love every minute of it.
You exude loving it. So what I wanted to have you on to talk about, since this is all about the Keiki, is sort of how do you parent, run a business, and inspire your kids to be future leaders while doing all this. What I know about you is that you have your kids with you a lot at the studio.
Right.
Your wife is there with you. You're homeschooling them. So tell us about a typical day in your life.
A typical day for us is, well, first of all, we have 5 kids, and so Elijah's 13, Kaeo's 11, Kulani's 10. So we had the first 3 boys, and then we finally had our daughter. Our daughter she just turned 3, and then we had one more baby, Koa, and he's 16 months right now. So Rose runs the house.
Your wife.
So, yeah, Rose is my wife, and Rose essentially runs the house. I'm home a lot, but I'm also at the gym a lot. So I run, Rose and I run CrossFit East Oahu together. So on a typical day for us, I'll get up early, and I'm an early riser, and I love getting up early. I love getting my first workout done early. I love to get the day started when it's still dark.
And just so people understand, you go to CrossFit East Oahu and you run your first class at 4:30 in the morning.
Right. So our first class at 4:30 in the morning, our last class at 8:30 at night, and there's action all day long. So I'll leave the house early, and recently Kaeo, my second son, he decided to go back to Aina school. So some of our kids homeschool, and then Kaeo wanted to go back. So him and I will leave early, and then we'll basically run the gym. I'll drop him off, pick him up from school. Some days I might go home early and on a half day and be with the family. And then on the other days, Rose will run a half day at homeschool, and then she'll come out to the gym, and we'll close out the gym together.
So you folks are completely integrated.
Right.
You're working, sort of in sync all day long. Lots of communication, lots of trust.
Yes.
And lots of chaos.
Yeah,
with the kids,
a whole lot of organized chaos for sure.
So when we were talking on the phone a couple days ago, we were talking sort of bemoaning some of our top 10 parenting concerns. When we look around today, we look at the world, we see what's happening, and we're like, these are some things that really concern us. And one of the things is parents not being with their kids. Right. So tell me about your thinking about being with your kids, why that matters, and how you manage that.
I guess I can go back to, I look at the world, and I guess I can go back to my childhood, and I can. Well, my dad was a carpenter, and we lived on the Big Island. We're from Waimea on the Big Island, so my dad was a carpenter, so he left the house early, and of course he worked his 9 to 5. My mom, so I'm one of 5. I'm the middle of 5 actually. So I have 2 older brothers, 2 younger sisters. So my mom raised us a lot, but but my mom also worked at the church a lot. So I knew that just growing up, I didn't get to see my dad a lot, and so just growing up, and you know what it is? You know what the root cause of my lifestyle now is? Just we grew up poor, is what it is. We didn't have anything. We struggled. So what I knew I wanted to do is I knew I wanted to build a lifestyle where I would have freedom, where I could write my own paycheck, where I could drive my own business, and where I could raise my. You know what? And I grew up. I never left the state of Hawaii until I went away to college. I was 17 years old. So I knew that I wanted to create a life for my family that I never had. So that's really where it comes from. Is I wanted to be there for my family, and I wanted to live a life the life that I never had.
And what you've created is pretty phenomenal. I mean, being able to juggle all of this successfully and being able to do exactly what you want. I mean, I know it's a lot of work, but you've created something that many people dream about, which is being able to do what you love professionally, fitness and inspiring and helping others to get fit and stay fit. Being with your kids as much as you are and having a great marriage where your partner is integrated into, that's a pretty big deal.
It is, and you know what? We designed it, you know, my wife and I have been together since high school. We've been married for 15 years. Next month is our 15th anniversary.
Congratulations.
We've been together for 22 years. So, you know, if I had to put a label on it, it's lifestyle design. So that's what we did, is we took a look at the kids, we took a look at our passions. And I've always been passionate. I've been in the fitness industry for 19 years. So I built, it all started with Rose and I, then we built the gym, then we had children, and we sent our first son to school at Aina School, but it was such a struggle because the fitness industry it's an AM, it's busy in the morning, busy at night. So a normal school day was just challenging just to get the kids to school and picked up. So that's when we decided to homeschool. There's many reasons why we decided to homeschool. I mean, we wanted to teach our kids about God every day. We wanted to instill our core values with our kids. And you know what? We just wanted to spend as much time as we could with our kids. And what I did know is I know from conception from birth to about 12 years old, I know that you have absolute influence over your child till about 12. And my son just turned 13, and I can see the transition already, that he's reasoning for himself and he's making decisions for himself. And not everything I say does he necessarily believe. And he's doing a lot of his own homework and research. So I knew that between 0 and 12, I wanted all that time. That's what I wanted.
To do maximum input so that you could build a foundation and trust them to go out and.
Absolutely. So I knew that I wanted as much time with them so that I could lead them, so that when they're teenagers and adults, that from then it's most of the work is done, and then after it's just guiding them after that.
So let's talk about some of the things that you do as a parent that have been really successful in raising your kids, because from what I've seen, your kids are really close to you. They respect you. They enjoy being with you. That's something that not every parent successfully achieves.
Right.
What are your tips for that, or how did you achieve that?
I would start off with just connection, just love and connection, and from that comes communication. So, as irritating as it might be, I run a family meeting like every other day. So I called everybody together. Even the little ones might be crawling around the ground, but so communication and spending a lot of time with them and just talking and engaging and you know what? I'd have to say as parents we really need to step up and be strong leaders, right? And we really are the first leaders. And even in the homeschool process, that's what I realized, is actually I'm responsible for my child's education and nobody else, right? So if that's the case, then I'm going to do all I can to educate my child. So the love and connection first, and love and connection combined with discipline, right? So love and connection, discipline, establishing order in the house, especially now that we have 5 kids. So establishing order and communication, loving on each other, and creating structure in the household. Those are the tips and tricks that the lifestyle that I created for my family early on. And then as we built on top of that, it would be teaching our kids to find their passion, teaching our kids. My oldest 13 and my second oldest 11, Elijah and Kael. Kael's always in the shadow of Elijah. Elijah is a phenomenal CrossFitter. Kael's great too, but they're both great athletes, but Kael's 11, Elijah's 13. So just teaching them to find their own path, right? To find their passion. And on top, with that came everything from the fitness to the training. And I would say that sport training, especially CrossFit, what that did for our kids is, any physical activity, and getting them off the devices, getting them off iPads, iPhones. There's a time and place for all of that, right? And seeing the world. We live in Hawaii. We live in one of the most beautiful places on earth. So getting outdoor. My second son he's an archer. He loves to bow hunt. He loves being outdoors. But getting the kids off the devices and getting them physically active. And what CrossFit taught my kids was that when you step into the gym, you're going to get called out with a workout. You're going to get there's a task in front of you. You're going to be commissioned with a task. And you're going to wonder whether or not you can do it, or you're going to wonder how bad it's going to hurt. Like any sport, like any game, you're going to wonder how it's going to go. And in the middle of it, somewhere along the lines, you're going to want to quit, right? And in the middle of it might be painful, and you might want to quit, and you look around the room, and everybody's still going, right? So that team atmosphere, that community, and then not quitting and succeeding. So with every sport, with every workout, with every trip to the gym, with every hike, there's a start, there's an end, and you walk away with success. You walk away with a win, and that lifestyle, that fitness lifestyle, it's played a huge part in our family for sure.
So and for families who don't own their own gym,
right?
For families who don't homeschool and who aren't business owners the way you are, they could still take the time to go on the weekends, make sure that at least once a weekend you do a hike or a beach.
And I thought about that a lot. And I work with a lot of parents and I work with a lot of kids, right? A lot of parents have come in and said, hey, my kid needs to lose 50 pounds. You know, I want to sign them up. What do I do? And I look at that parent in the eye and I just say, it starts with you, right? I look at, it starts with the parents. It starts, so a kid will never lose 50 pounds if the parents are eating Cheetos and watching TV, right? So I worked with a lot of parents, a lot of kids, and again, we live in Hawaii, so the beach, the surf, the mountains, the hiking. I mean, just getting out, getting outdoor, and then just doing, a big thing. What CrossFit and the CrossFit method and the CrossFit community has brought to the world is just the fact that you can get your little family together and you can do a workout at home, right? So you and your family, if it's once or twice a week, hey everybody, we're gonna do 100 burpees, right? We're gonna do 100 burpees, and the kids, and no matter what I've learned over the years is your kids will follow suit. Your kids will do what you do. So if you're eating junk, they'll eat junk. If you're working out, if you start doing burpees, the kids will be stoked. They'll be pumped to do burpees.
So we're role models in every way. What we eat, how we treat other people, and how we take care of our bodies.
Absolutely.
Super important for us to model how we want our children to grow up, right? I mean, we're building the bodies now that they're going to have for the rest of their lives, so take it seriously.
Absolutely.
What do you think about Fitbits?
Very convenient. I love it. I use one. And this day and age with technology, and as I've always said, with or without technology, find what works best for you. The Fitbit has, there's so many features that help you to track data, and everybody likes to see results. So in results is what motivates you to do more. So I do like the Fitbit, and if somebody's in sleep, it'll track your sleep. So I do like it. Yeah, and I've used it before.
So I am a complete anti-technology mom.
Okay.
My kids have no technology at all. No phones, no computers. We don't watch TV. And my daughter, who's 12, wanted a Fitbit.
Okay.
Like nothing in the world, she wanted a Fitbit because everyone in her class had a Fitbit. Right. So I got her one.
Okay, how's it going?
It's amazing. Like I can now say, go get whatever up in your bedroom because you'll get a few extra steps in, So like before it was like, Mom, I don't want to go get the whatever upstairs. I'm like, okay, I'll go get it. Now she's eager to run up and down the stairs so that she can meet her goal every day. Walk the dog a little bit longer every day so she can meet her goal.
What's your argument for anti-devices? Like what, or for not having devices?
Oh, super long discussion, but basically there are a zillion studies that show that it stunts brain growth and imagination and creativity and good moral thinking, that it can create remote autistic spectrum, presentation style stuff. Wow. It can, it ruins your social interactions. It makes you dependent on certain kinds of stimulation, which you then become dependent on. Just a million things. It's endless. My list of why not is endless. But, I know that it's an uphill battle because it's the world we live in. So I said yes to the Fitbit, and the results have been wonderful because she now makes sure she gets her 15,000 steps minimum every day. And
yep, it works.
Yeah. And
that's the thing, 15,000 steps. At least if you're checking your Fitbit, you know that you're doing something, you're making progress. And everybody's driven, most people are driven by a goal. So like if it's 10 o'clock at night and she's 200 steps short, she'll walk in place for 200 steps.
She's done that.
Yeah, she's
it's
done
crazy.
That.
Yeah, it gets the little party on her wrist when she's done. Yeah. So fitness is really important to children.
Yes.
We don't want to make them body conscious or overly body conscious. We don't want to make them neurotic about what they eat or don't eat, but we want to instill in them the importance of being fit.
Absolutely.
So what would you say to parents watching about why it is important to have a fit child, or what are some really simple things that they can model other than not eating Cheetos and sitting on the couch? How do you talk to your child about the importance of being fit without creating a problem?
Real easy, and really the only way is just to lead by example. I'd say I mean, you could talk about it. You could watch. You can watch. There are a ton of documentaries that the kids get interested in about health, fitness, and at the end of the day, though, it's just they're watching you and you doing stuff. And you know what the most inspirational thing for a child is to watch their parent overcome struggle, right? So 2/3 of our country is overweight or obese. So if there's two parents, they're working 8 hours, 9 hours overtime all day long. But along with inspiration from parents leading by example, it's just health, right? Just health is, you want your child to be healthy, and with processed food today, with the way the food industry is going, I mean, the odds are so severely stacked against us and our kids. So teaching our kids about health, teaching our kids about quality of life, teaching our kids about achieving their own goals. But I'd say the most powerful thing is if there's a mother and father, or even a single parent that just starts, and the child, and I've seen it time and time again, and the child will see the journey, the child will see the changes, and there's nothing more that a child wants than to see their parent overcome struggle and to succeed, and they'll follow suit. So those two things is lead by example, and then just if you focus on health, then it's not so much about image or it's not so much about body weight or looking or feeling fat or try to compare yourself to others, but just health and quality of life.
I often tell my kids, your body is a machine. It's the most amazing machine that was ever invented in the history of the world or the universe or whatever. And what we put into it is the fuel.
Absolutely.
And so put in good fuel. Don't put in junk fuel because you're going to peter out halfway through the day. So put in good fuel and keep that machine, honor that machine, keep that machine going.
Yes.
Okay, you mentioned home life. I know that for a lot of super busy parents nowadays, life is just one endless, like crazy, get there, try and get basics done. How do you manage your home life? You talked about organization and, sort of order.
I think early on in life for me, I think it starts at mindset, right? So, the first rule that we run at CrossFit East Oahu and my 12-week Transform program, and my life in general is just anything is possible, right? So I think it starts at mindset with just deciding that you're not going to be a victim of circumstance. You're not going to just tolerate that. If you want something, you're going to go after it. So when it comes to lifestyle, home life, right? So you can design, you can imagine, you can envision what you want, and then you can take a look at what's wrong with your life now, and then you can make the necessary changes. And then there's 24 hours in a day, and maybe you sleep 7, 8, whatever it is.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky,
Yeah.
if you're lucky. I mean, but there's if you have a busy job and you're running around kids, but the time that you have that you're not at work is maximizing that, right? The time that you have, and it goes for anything. If you want to get fit, if you want to lose weight, if you want to get if you want to start a second career, or if you're not happy at your job, and you hate your boss or whatever it is, then go to work and grind all day, and then come home and start work on your business. Do the research. I mean, it's unlimited. The information out there is unlimited. So do your homework, and use the time. Use the time outside of work wisely and effectively. And there's really one word for that. It's just grit. It's grit. It's just work. You got to
find your grit.
You got to, and if you can find what you love and find your passion, even better, because you're just able to engage that grit that much more. So hard work and just pushing through it.
So you're modeling for your children, but let's talk about some simple tactics, like a couple things to do at home, actual tips for running an orderly home.
For running an orderly home is family meetings. That would be
Family
number
meetings.
one.
Okay.
Family meetings.
How do you handle laundry? You must have a ton of laundry because you're all working out all the time.
Systems, home systems, right? There's a place for everything. My mom taught me that, right? There's a place for everything. So something like laundry, dishes, books, toys. There's a place for everything, and there's a system for everything, and there's a time and place for everything. And teaching your kids that. It's not okay to just throw stuff around.
Okay, how do you discipline? Give me the actual details. How do you discipline?
So this is interesting, right? So I grew up in the Christian faith, and the Bible says to spare not the rod. So I grew. This
Spare
is,
the rod, spoil the child.
Right. So I grew up in a Christian faith. So I believe in spanking my children properly. But so here's the thing: my mom and my parents and my grandpa, and so all the way up the generations, like local style, straight up
Get
local
the slipper.
style. Rubber slipper, guava stick, the belt. So I got lit up as a kid. I got lickings. I got lickings straight up local style, right? And then I remember when my first child was disobedient. You know what? This is a great story. I changed Elijah's diaper, right? Gave him the diaper. This is when he was just turned 2. And every time I changed his diaper, gave him the diaper, I said, here, throw this away, and he would take it and go, right? Take it and go. And then shortly after he turned 2, I gave him the diaper, throw it away. I said, throw this away, Elijah. And he looks at me and he goes, no.
Which is age appropriate for him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it blew my mind.
Yeah.
In that moment, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh. My child, this is the first time my child's defied me.
Crazy.
Defied me.
Yeah.
And so, what I know about health, fitness, body, physiology, and what I know about my parents, grandparents, uncles giving me dirty lickings. So first of all, I knew I wasn't going to treat my kids like that. I was not going to abuse my kids or go local style rubber slipper.
Okay, and I think a big point here, and we only have about 4 more minutes to wrap this up, but a big point here is that when you discipline, you're not doing it out of anger. Right?
Right,
Okay.
and I've controlled discipline.
Okay.
And it's really easy for me to understand and to engage discipline in my child. So, pain in the body causes you to stop anything, and pain will cause a child to submit. So, what I'll do is I'll swat them once or twice behind the thigh, and that's it. Right? As soon as you engage pain, it stops them in their tracks, and if they're not obedient, if they're defiant, then it's that pain that will create submission. But it has to be, and then you follow with love. You always follow discipline with love. Always follow that. That's the routine, and that's what raising kids is about. Is routine and follow discipline with love, and then if you have to start early. You have to start with order early. Otherwise, as the years go on, and when Elijah defied me in that moment, I thought to myself, wow. I was like, wow, now I know why parents get ran all over by their 2-year-old, 3-year-old, by their toddlers. Like, they can't control their toddlers because they haven't established authority. And as a parent, that's what, you are the parent. You are the parent. So you have to establish authority.
Yeah, and obviously it works for you. So I just need to make a disclaimer right now, because there are many people who would say that hitting your child, even in love and with controlled discipline, is not acceptable. So we're not necessarily endorsing that.
Absolutely.
But I respect you and love you, and I think you're a great parent. So everyone needs to do what feels right to them within what is allowable by law. And
absolutely, and you know what? Every child is different. Every child is different. So Elijah might respond to physical pain better, but Kael responds better to incentive, right? So every child, you got to know your child.
And I love that you're saying that, because one size does not fit all for parenting. And in adoption, we know this, that we're very clear about disciplining very differently with a child who is traumatized from institution life as opposed to a child who's born to you. So.
So you must, of course, you have to know your child.
Yeah.
You have to know your child, and you have to know how your child behaves, the person, and every child is different. And yes, and of course, under adoption circumstances, you never know where that child, what that child has experienced, right? You never know, and of course, another, maybe one more tip this is a great tip for parents and raising kids is emotional intelligence. Is you have to be able. You have to get good, first of all. And it comes right along the lines, it would go self-awareness into emotional intelligence. Just understanding you had a bad day, or you're pissed off, or whatever. So understanding who you are, where you are, how you were raised, right? So that's where my family lineage, I had to change that. I had to change the way I disciplined my kids according to.
You took the good parts, which was a sense of feeling loved and belonging to a family, and you made a few tweaks, which is brilliant. That's called evolution. That's what we all should be doing, right?
And then understanding your own emotions, and then not acting out of. You should never act out of anger or frustration with your child, right? Right, and of course, wide open communication first, right? So. Yeah, so that's kind of the cycle, the family cycle with my family, but above all things is love. But above all, and as you raise your children, if they know they love, if you have a strong connection, and if you build a strong connection on love and on trust, then as the years go on, as the years go on, it's easier to parent. It's easier to parent.
And one thing I sense from just sort of what I know about you and your wonderful children and this great business community, this business and this community that you've created is consistency and dependability. So, I mean, I think everything you've said, and consistency in how you're disciplining your kids, and a sense of responsibility that you're instilling in them. You're responsible for certain things, you know, and we're going to model that as parents, and we're expecting it from you. And then you get this fabulous outcome. And I just love the fact that you took your childhood, your experience, and you sort of evolved it to the next level, honoring what goodness you got from that. And I know you're super close with your family, and I know your mom's a big part of your work now too, right? And
both my parents, yes.
Yeah, right, your dad too. And sort of saying, you know, love you guys, and I'm going to take this and just make a few changes to it quite consciously.
Yeah, and it's a healthy thing to do for families, and processing emotions and feelings and what we went through. So when it was time for me to discipline my child, right? So I looked to my mom, and I had to open up a new conversation and ask my mom. I was like, Mom, how is it that you guys went through that? You were raised like that. We were put through that. And my mom said what was the honest truth, and she just said that's how we were raised. So we got all of us as parents, we got to take a step back and look at the big picture and where we're coming from, and to be smart about how we raise our children, right? And just because dad did it, it's because that's how my father did them, that's how I do them, right? That's not. I mean, we gotta be smart about how we raise our children.
You gotta buy in yourself and feel committed to it.
Right.
All right, we are out of time, and I can't believe it because I feel like we're just scratching the surface. But do you have a final 2-second thought?
I would just say, anything's possible. You know, anything is possible, and if you want something bad enough, just go after it. Whether it's anything, parents, your parenting, your marriage. You know, fight for what you want for. If you fight for your children, fight for your marriage, and if you want to get fit, healthy, change your career, is dream it up. Anything is possible, and go fight after it.
And hook up with someone great like
Connect, absolutely. Mentorship.
CrossFit East Oahu who can do some great supporting.
Come to the gym. Come to the gym,
get
work out. It's a community, it's a family. You know, so we all go there. It's like a team, and you come there, and it's just pure aloha. That's all it is.
I can attest to that. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It's been really great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this has been It's All About the Keiki. Thanks very much to Alelo Communications. They do wonderful work. I'm Kristine Altwies. Until next time, aloha.